Don't let this herbivorous dinosaur fool you. It was one of the toughest and one of the smartest too. Could it have defeated a T-Rex with its skill? Facts you have to know about Triceratops. Number 1, 2 horns, not 3. It's really shocking to know that, although Triceratops means 3-horned face in Greek, it had only 2 real horns that could reach 4 feet long. So what did it actually have on the tip of its snout? Well, it was something more like a short piece made of a soft protein called keratin. Yes, like our fingernails or hair. Besides, it wouldn't have been much of use in a fight. But don't think it was at a disadvantage. Number 2, the toughest. It didn't hesitate to take on anything. A mighty adult Triceratops could reach 30 feet long, 10 feet tall, and weigh up to 11 tons. That's slightly larger than an adult male African elephant. Although it was herbivorous, it wasn't completely harmless. With its massive body, it could knock down anything it wanted, and a single goring could knock out any opponent. There was no escape. Besides being tough, it's considered to be among the most intelligent. The Triceratops skull was one of the largest in proportion to body size compared to other land animals. The largest known Triceratops skull fossil measures 8 feet. Because of the brain mass it could hold, it occupies an important place among the most intelligent dinosaurs. As you can see, the Triceratops had all the weapons to fight great battles. Number 3, Big John. Time to meet Big John, the world's largest Triceratops fossil. At 23 feet 5 inches long from snout to tail tip, it's a Guinness World Record holder. Big John's remains shed more light on the great fights between Triceratops. Just as some animals today fight for territory or potential mates, apparently, millions of years ago, many male Triceratops behaved the same way. In 2022, a team of paleontologists from Italy published evidence for this by studying Big John. His skeleton remains had a large hole in his neck frill, and upon study, they found evidence that the hole was a goring in the process of healing. In other words, Big John didn't die in battle, he just took a beating and sustained a war wound. This great specimen will be auctioned in Paris in October 2022, and its estimated value is around $1.48 million. Who gives more? Number 4, the Titanoceratops. You'll be shocked just by looking at the fossils of this huge dinosaur. The Titanoceratops had an incredibly large upward-pointing frill that could easily have been over 8.7 feet long. This imposing dinosaur lived in the late Cretaceous period, about 75 million years ago in what's now New Mexico. The discovery of this creature generated much controversy. On one hand, some scientists assumed it was a close relative of the Triceratops due to its skull features. However, others believe that the finding corresponds to an unusually large and old specimen of Pentaceratops. What is certain is that, with its estimated weight of 6.55 tons and a length of 22.3 feet, there was no animal that surpassed the magnificent Titanoceratops in North America at that period. Number 5, Horridus, the most complete Triceratops. Horridus is none other than the most complete Triceratops fossil ever found. It was so named because the remains correspond to 85% of the entire skeleton of a specimen of the Triceratops horridus species found on a Montana ranch in 2014. Scientists were surprised to see that Horridus's head and spine were virtually intact. Currently, the specimen is on display at the Melbourne Museum in Australia. Too far away for you? Then you can see it in all its splendor through an incredible 3D rendering on the museum's official website. Amazing, right? Number 6, the rampant fossil market. The striking skulls and horns of the Triceratops aroused the ambition of thousands of people as luxury collectibles, and the interest of treasure hunters. It's so common to find Triceratops remains in the Hell Creek Formation of the northern United States that many don't hesitate to dig up their property, which would mean the loss or damage of a large amount of fossilized material. Although this is completely legal, academic paleontologists are greatly concerned, since any piece that has been traded and is part of a private collection completely loses its scientific value. Moreover, the craze for these fossils can lead to extreme situations. In 2008, a dinosaur fanatic bought a specimen named Triceratops Cliff for $1 million and donated it to the Boston Museum of Science. Unfortunately, unscrupulous fossil hunters tried to steal and sell the remains of this dinosaur. What's your opinion on this problem? Number 7. The uses of its neck frill. A prominent neck frill just for protection? Well, apparently this one had up to 3 functions. Yes, it was like a defense system as an impenetrable shield, very effective indeed. Another possible function was to give signals to other herd members. As it was composed of numerous blood vessels below the surface, it's likely that its frill had bright colors to warn of a hungry predator or to visually manifest its sexual availability during mating season. Finally, and assuming that the Triceratops were cold-blooded, their frill could have had a thermoregulatory function, acting as a radiator. Number 8. Triceratops versus Ankylosaurus. Get ready for action! Not only were these two dinosaurs massive and heavily armored, but they could also fend off a velociraptor or Tyrannosaurus. Furthermore, the two coexisted in the Cretaceous period, and, in case you had any doubts, it's very likely that at some point these large herbivores fought over limited resources. Who would win in a battle? As we already saw, the Triceratops' brain size was very large, so it may have been a bit more skillful in battle. As for weapons, the Triceratops had large horns and its frill for protection. The Ankylosaurus is no slouch with its cool armor and a deadly sledgehammer on its tail. Could the Triceratops' horns handle an Ankylosaurus? Well, apparently an Ankylosaurus would be saved only by being shorter and out of range of the Triceratops' horns. The sides of the Triceratops would be easy targets for the Ankylosaurus' killer tail. However, being more massive, the Triceratops would probably use its immense strength to flip the Ankylosaurus over and pierce its stomach with its horns. What do you think the end result would be? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's go with another opponent. Number 9. Triceratops versus Tyrannosaurus Rex. These mighty dinosaurs coexisted at the same period in the swamps and forests of western North America about 65 million years ago. It's very easy to assume that the Tyrannosaurus Rex wouldn't hesitate to go after the Triceratops. It was quite fast for its size, reaching a top speed of 20 miles per hour. The T-Rex was a bit behind at 17 miles per hour. It's true that the Triceratops had its large frill and powerful horns. However, these had to withstand the bite of up to 35,000 newtons of force from a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's more than twice of a modern crocodile. Plus, the T-Rex had better vision and hearing than the Triceratops. Although it might have weighed slightly more than a Tyrannosaurus Rex and would have been able to inflict significant damage, it wouldn't be enough. Apparently, the T-Rex got away with it most of the time, and the findings support this conclusion. Tooth marks have been found on many Triceratops fossils, although it's uncertain whether this was from carrion or predation. Number 10. The Triceratops from Jurassic Park. Remember the sick Triceratops from 1993's Jurassic Park? Although in that scene it's mentioned that it could be poisoning from eating West Indian lilac. The key to solving the mystery was to mention that it got sick every 6 weeks. However, in the movie, the mystery is never fully solved. In the book, Dr. Sadler looks at the stones and solves it. Gastroliths! The Triceratops wasn't constantly sick because the West Indian lilac fruits aren't part of its diet, but it accidentally consumes them when swallowing gizzard stones. Another memorable Triceratops appearing in the second installment is the specimen captured by the mercenaries, unleashing chaos by destroying the hunter's camp. In the third installment, they're only seen as part of the species running around Isla Sorna. In the fourth installment, we can see several Triceratops in the gyrosphere area. In Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, a Triceratops is seen with its offspring in the Lockwood Manor, and then they escape at the end. Which one's your favorite? If I've missed any Triceratops out there, let me know in the comments. Number 11. It had a parrot's beak. The Triceratops used its strong, bird-like beak to cut hundreds of pounds of tough, fibrous vegetation such as cycads, conifers, and palm trees. But in addition to its beak, it had up to 800 teeth inside its mouth. When those wore out, they were replaced with new, sharp ones, similar to how sharks replaced lost or broken teeth. Also, while it almost certainly fed on shrubs and other low vegetation, A large Triceratops wouldn't hesitate to use its strength to pull down larger plants to get more food. Number 12. Herd animal or solitary rover? The Triceratops didn't live in herds, as most fossils have been of solitary individuals. At least that's believed to be the case for adult specimens. In the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, USA, it's common to discover very small groups of juvenile Triceratops. Also, apparently, a family group of 3 individuals was found in 2012 in Wyoming. Although it hasn't been possible to identify whether it was a couple and their offspring or 2 females and a juvenile they were caring for. Therefore, it's likely that the Triceratops lived in small family groups up to a certain age rather than large herds. Number 13. Their extinction. A generally accepted theory is that a large asteroid hit the Earth about 65 million years ago, causing the mass extinction of any animal that couldn't fly, swim, or burrow into the ground. However, many argue that the Triceratops, along with other herbivorous dinosaurs, were already in decline or even extinct due to climate change and intense volcanic activity before the Big Impact. When did the Triceratops go extinct then? Before or after? The unearthed remains of many Triceratops just 5 inches below the geological layers near the mass extinction show that this dinosaur was around until the time of the impact in the Cretaceous Tertiary. Now that you know more about the Triceratops, subscribe to Trend Max to keep getting great content like this. See you in the next video.